Legacy of Wisdom is a non-profit project building a vision of best practices for living and fulfilling life's potential. While focusing on the last half of life, it is also applicable to all generations. By asking a limited set of questions related to 5 of humanity's most pressing issues, we have been able to gather concise answers from some of our most experienced and profound teachers. How do I find my mission to feel complete and fulfill my life's potential?
I think one of the most important things is to, when one looks back at one's life as an older person, is to feel that you have made a difference in the world that is positive. And, in my work of sitting with dying people, this experience of life review before the actual dying process, in the latter sense of moving closer and closer to the moment of death, before that happens, is really important. I think one of the most beautiful things that I've seen happen is when a young person sits with a dying person, sometimes with a tape recorder, sometimes with a video camera, and calls forth the stories of meaning in a person's life. And as one gets older, hopefully there are more stories and more to be remembered. However, sometimes, when people age, they can't remember the good they've done. And so that sensibility, in a way, has to be remembered, has to be brought to life again through the reflection of others, through appreciation and respect, through a recalling of stories, through making of albums, through looking at old films and videos. Because we want to feel our life as a whole cloth. And that cloth might be made of a single thread of meaning, like compassion. Or it might be a patchwork quilt, sewn by the thread of compassion. But there is a sense of making a robe of one's life that we want to give away to those who will survive us. And one of the extraordinary things I feel coming from elders today is exactly this sense of appreciation for the life that has been lived, for the gift that has been realized. And we'd say, how can that gift be realized? I would begin first with how do we take care of our mind as we age? And that preparation starts when we're very young. I mean, we see it in elders who have a kind of light shedding from them as you sit with them. That they have not engaged, if you will, in seriously non-virtuous activity, which has created a sort of cloud of nervousness inside of them. But they have lived a pro-social life, a life that's characterized by compassion and kindness. So the karmic effects, or the sum of these many actions and the totality of behavior is one of the gifts of being a wise elder in the world today. And I think that the issue of virtue is consequential here. And by virtue, the root of that word talks about strength. It takes immense strength to stand heartfully in the embrace of principles. How do we live a principled life, even though sometimes it feels so against the stream? Whether it's our politicians or our business people who sometimes are role models for the world, which are not good role models. And so the elders today, I think through, trial and lots of error, have an opportunity to be role models in a world that is profoundly fractured, because they have a way, through stabilizing their mind and through having lived, a good life, of reflecting back into society the principles that make for a decent society. And they, in a way, the elders are the doorway into the future. I think that's something that is really not appreciated so much in Western culture. But in many other cultures, it is deeply appreciated where elders are respected.
Well, how can we enhance this sense of respect in both directions then?
I think there are many religious models for this in Buddhism, Christianity, Judaism, for this expression of intergenerational respect. I think it needs to happen more in education, in politics, and in business, where elders have the opportunity to bring their incredible experience forward in the public eye, so to speak. But there's also, we make our elders and we make our children. I mean, society just doesn't appear out of nothing. It's more that we have to recognize that we all have a responsibility for revisioning the role of elders in society, creating the means for elders to be mentally and physically healthier, to have the opportunity for their voices to be heard, and also to create the social contexts where elders can encounter young people. I mean, I love living at Upaya. I'm a young elder, but I'm an elder nonetheless. And many of the people who live here are in their late teens and their early 20s. And it's just great. It's like having grandchildren. But because I'm the founder and the head teacher, I'm accorded respect. I'm listened to, with affection and that sense of I want the best for them. And it might not be the best for this one or that one to even be here. I'll help them leave here in a dignified way. So I'm very fortunate to live in a community where the values that we see in other cultures can be actualized as lived behavior, not simply as concepts. And, as you grow older, of course, there are physical limitations and there's conceptual or rather cognitive limitations that you encounter. But I look on, just from my own experiences, my own physical limitations, as a kind of blessing, because the slowing down that has been necessitated by the ills of the body has given me more time to reflect, to be with people in a more subtle and sensitive way, to appreciate relationally the experiences that I have with others, and to offer myself more in a more immediate way. So I think one of the things that we have to look at in our world is how just our neighborhoods are set up. I mean, it's a very siloed world that we live in. Whereas here in a Buddhist monastery, you live, you practice, you serve, you relate, you have fun, you relate to each other, all in a medium that is pointing toward kindness, that's pointing toward well-being, that is characterized by a characteristic I spoke about earlier, and that is virtue, where there's a deep appreciation for virtue. And I think what we're going to see is just in terms of the actual living situations that we're going to find more and more communities that are similar to monastic communities that are intergenerational, and which are also multifunctional, because this is an extremely fiscally economic way to live, but it also is an economy of the heart. There's something that happens in an intergenerational community such as we have here and other religious and spiritual communities have, where I am learning from the young people, and the young people are learning from me, and there's phenomenal joy in that mutuality. And I think it's, I will say, quite frankly, I think it's keeping me quite young.